Bird, James Harden, potato chips over championships, cheesecake over teammates. The man himself, James Harden, has opted in to the final year of his deal that he signed last year with the Philadelphia 76ers, which is a 2-year deal with the 1+1. The first year was guaranteed, next year was a player option, and he opted into that player option. So now this is the thing. Now that Philadelphia 76ers can trade James Harden to the teams that he wants, the two teams that are most prominent right now that they're trying to negotiate trade talks is the New York Knicks and the Los Angeles Clippers. Let's go with the Knicks right now. You got R.J. Barrett, you got Julius Randle, you got some picks. Even though I think they want to hold on to it, they want a young superstar, a young guy that can go alongside Jalen Brunson, which they need badly because you can't depend on Julius Randle because Jalen Brunson, he did his thing. R.J. Barrett, a little bit too inconsistent, so they need a consistent guy to go with Jalen Brunson. I don't think the Knicks are going to trade for him, even though it wouldn't be a bad move, but to see James Harden and Jalen Brunson, and Jalen Brunson needs the ball in his hands. He can play off the ball, but I'd rather let him run the show because at least he got you to the second round, and he scored over 40 points in a closeout game. It's just Julius Randle didn't bring it home and didn't get the job done. He was awful. So now let's go to the Los Angeles Clippers. I don't think the Knicks is going to happen. So with the Clippers, yes, they've been in talks about trying to trade Paul George and breaking up that duo of Kawhi and Paul George because it hasn't worked out. Because the only time they even went to as a duo together, they went to the second round and got walked down by the Denver Nuggets and blew a 3-1 lead back in the bubble when they said the bubble don't count when my Lakers won it. Oh, but guess what? It counted when the Clippers lost, so we ain't finna get into that. But, so James Harden could potentially join a big three with the Los Angeles Clippers, with Kawhi Leonard, with Paul George, even though neither one of them can stay on the floor. James Harden is still going to be there, but the problem is they're going to have to send picks, and they're also going to have to open up some more of that money. Is there a possibility could Russell Westbrook still come back to that squad? Who knows? Because James Harden, as we've seen, he needs the ball in his hands as far as a facilitator and a scorer. So are you going to bring back Russell Westbrook if James Harden is there? Because that means the ball is going to come out of his hands, and the Clippers want Russ back. So it's a lot of things going on in Clipper land. They either want to break up the duo of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, or possibly even add James Harden onto the Clippers, which is going to be making a big three. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I don't know what is the big deal about James Harden. Yes, he's a guy. He averaged 21 points and 10 assists last year. But if we seen in that postseason, in game 5, 6, and 7, he did not show up. That man had zero points in that game. That's unacceptable. In game 5, game 6, and game 7, he scored 0 points in the fourth quarter. That's supposed to be a superstar who's in the late stages of his prime. But anyway, and then you turn around. Yeah, he gave you 2 points. He gave you 2 games of scoring over 40 points. But guess what? You still went home. You still went to Cancun drinking some pina coladas. So my thing is, James Harden, yes, the reason why he opted in, he looked at the market. There's not a lot of teams out there wanting to sign James Harden. You got, of course, the Phoenix Suns. They got no money for him. They $30 million over the cap. Then the Houston Rockets, that's a rebuilding team. And he let them know that he does not want to go to Houston. So there's not a lot of market for James Harden. So he opted into his deal to trade me to a team that I want to be traded to. And at the same time, the Philadelphia 76ers, they're also getting pieces back. They're getting quality, either players or picks. So what they can do is you can flip that for Damian Lillard. And my thing is, I don't think you need to flip that with a Damian Lillard. You know what? Let's see what Tyrese Maxey can do. Let him run the show with Joel Embiid. But you know, Joel Embiid, he didn't show up in the postseason. He wet the bed, especially in that game 7 where he scored 15 points. So, you know what? But we ain't talking about Joel Embiid. So this is a big news today about James Harden. So he's opted into his deal, $35 million. And like I said, the Clippers, this is a make or break for him because with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, this is the final year of their deals, with next year being a player option, which I see both those guys opting out of. And then you got James Harden himself, potato chips over championships. Now, this is the final year of his deal regardless. So as a team, you got to think about this. You could potentially be renting James Harden just for 1 year, one single year, 1 year. And he could go to wherever team he wants to go to the following year. So you're taking a risk with this guy because, like I said, cheesecake over teammates. He ate his way out of Houston. Potato chips over championships. He's going to eat before he gets on the basketball court and be dedicated to winning. And he's not going to show up in the big moments. We've seen this guy. He didn't show up against the Spurs years ago. He didn't show up against the Warriors in that game 7 where they missed over 20 consecutive threes and they had a double-digit lead in the third quarter and choked that away and wet the bed and got walked down by the Golden State Warriors. So, you know what? We've seen this with James Harden. He does not show up in the postseason. I don't know why people keep clamoring for this guy. You're going to clam for a guy who's going to be good in the regular season, and then because of the postseason, he's going to be garbage. So, hey, all the Clippers, you know what they're gonna do. That's a losing organization anyway. So they're going to try to trade for James Harden. Go ahead and try to make it a big three. Do I see it working? I think the tandem of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George is over anyway. Both guys can't stay on the floor. Now you're gonna add James Harden and then let Eric Gordon go, who that's over $20 million. They let walk out the door. So the fact that they did that for a reason. For this man right here. So if the Los Angeles Clippers can find a way to get James Harden and make it a big three, do I see it failing? Absolutely. Kawhi Leonard, we know he just had a meniscus surgery about a couple weeks ago, and he's supposed to be out technically for 2 months. But we know Kawhi Leonard, that's gonna be like a 4 to 5 month injury. Then Paul George, PG-13, Pandemic P. He's always hurt. He's always in and out of the lineup. So you don't know what's going to happen. And then at the same time, so now that James Harden is going to be your point guard, if you do that, now what about Russell Westbrook? Because the Clippers wanted him back. But then how are you going to have a lineup of Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George? That's not going to work. Russ needs the ball in his hands to actually be that facilitator, drive to the basket, have an open lane. So I don't see Russell Westbrook even going back to there. I think Russell Westbrook needs to go to Miami anyway. It's a better team. Because they went to the NBA Finals, and you got a guy, Jimmy Butler, who's going to always be on the floor. You got a Bam Adebayo, another star player, who's going to be always on the floor instead of playing with them two losers over there. I ain't going to say losers because Kawhi Leonard don't want you some championship. But Paul George, oh, we already know what Pandemic P on. He about failing in the playoffs, wetting the bed, and not showing up in big moments. Sometimes he has, sometimes he doesn't. But, hey, hard pound to the Clippers, man. If y'all want James Harden, y'all want potato chips over championships, go ahead. You ain't winning the championship because I tell you what, he doesn't show up in big moments in the playoffs when you need it the most. So, glad I'm a Mavs fan, glad I'm a Lakers fan. We ain't got to deal with that problem. So, like I said, James Harden opted into his $35 million deal, and right now this is just a 1 year rental because he might have even signed back to you the following year. So, hey, lay your chips all on the table and go sign them. Y'all like the video, man. Hit that subscribe button. I'm seeing a lot of stuff like that. I don't see a lot of likes, but I see a lot of views. Let's go ahead and get them likes up, y'all. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. I got more of these content on the way, and also I got another video about Kyrie Irving with my Mavs now. So is Kyrie gonna be back with the Mavs? Hey, you know what? We're gonna talk about it in the next video. So y'all hit that subscribe button. Y'all be smooth, man. Hey. James Harden, potato chips over championships. You a James Harden fan, go and switch to whatever team you want. If you a Clippers, who cares? Y'all gonna lose anyway.